Hi, my name is Jack Waite. I am a junior biochemistry molecular biology major, and I was the winner of the 2021 concerto competition. Started piano lessons when I was 13 or 14. A lot of people start when they're very young, and I'm glad I didn't, because it would have meant my parents were forcing me to do it, and then I wouldn't have liked it as much. So the fact that I started on my own volition made it something that I really enjoy doing.
Can you tell us this wonderful story about your first piano?
Yeah, so my first piano was, I wanted to start playing piano, so I went on Craigslist and found a piano for free that was basically broken. It was a broken upright. And when we got there, she just said we could take it for free as long as we can move it. And so I studied on that for a few years until we got a different piano. She's currently the chair of the music department, Susan Smith. And yeah, I absolutely love taking lessons from her. I have so much to learn from her. When I took lessons before, it was usually me at the piano and my teacher would sit next to me. But with Susan, we both are at the piano, and I found that really helpful because she can demonstrate something and then I can try it right next to her, aside from her. And one thing I really appreciate about her lessons is an emphasis on listening and sound, rather than just technique. I mean, yes, she does help me figure out how to choreograph my movements, but it's all about getting the right sound, which I feel like if you're not listening, you can't make the sound you want. So I appreciate that emphasis on listening rather than getting every single note correct. December 2021. I started the piece in March of 2020, right when COVID started happening. So I worked on it, practicing it on my own throughout all of COVID. And then in December of 2020, I auditioned, and then performed October 2021. The most I'd ever played with other people was a few duets I had done with other pianists when I took piano lessons. I had never played with 3 people total or more. And so to then suddenly go to this big hall and practice with 20 plus people at once, it was very new and kind of scary, but it was very communal. I felt like we were all sharing the music. Mm-hmm. And so I definitely have a new appreciation for collaboration, both mostly because like I did that as we were coming out of COVID. Mm-hmm. So coming out of that social isolation and then also doing this new thing of playing music with other people, it was very cathartic for this time. So it was really nice.
Great. And so, now some nuts and bolts questions. What was the experience of the actual competition like? Where was it? What did you do?
Yeah.
Like
for the audition?
For the audition.
Yeah. So the audition, my piano teacher did the accompaniment. And so we just recorded a video and sent that in. So it wasn't actually in person.
Tell us about the experience playing with the orchestra. What was that like?
Well, it was surreal. It was surreal because I had listened to the song so many times. And when I was playing, I would always hear the song in my head. And to hear those instruments in my head actually surrounding me, that was very surreal. All of my energy was going into deep breathing, counting breathing. And then when I actually sat down at the piano, continuing to breathe and listening. And all of that just calmed my nerves, because the last thing you want is to just be nervous. No, it doesn't help.
No, you seem just so focused. It was really, really inspiring to watch you play.
Yeah, but I do joke with some people, because of all the adrenaline, I feel like I sort of blacked out a little bit. I was in a very different mental state. And I just feel like I played, it happened, and then it was done. And my mind was nowhere else. It was I was like in a state of hypnosis.
You're in the flow state. So
yeah,
great, right?
Yeah, exactly. But then after, to just like have the applause and then just like hugging my family and all my friends, it felt like such an accomplishment.
It was a tremendous accomplishment. It's a big concerto. It's a long piece.
Yeah.
You did a marvelous job.
Well, I mentioned I study science, and with science, there's always a question, always an answer, always a way to find an answer. It's very definitive, it's quantitative. However, you can't, the experience of life, you can't quantify. Science just can't understand everything about our psychology, our emotions. And music is a way of just forgetting all about that and just being in the moment, just feeling. And especially over COVID, it gave me such a release to just express. And it just brings me right into the moment, right into this moment of how do you feel? What do you hear? So it makes us present. It connects us back to our emotions. And so it helps me balance my life with other things.
Tell me a little bit about the concerto experience as kind of like large chamber music.
Well, with Mozart, it's very conversational. And so knowing when there are parts where I'm playing, but I know that the orchestra is talking. The orchestra's talking at this moment, and I'm playing background, but then they finish their sentence and I come in with a response. And so listening for who's talking at what part and what tone, that was very important for me, I think. I'm really excited to see what people play in the future.
Yes.